Are you a fan of Ultimate Adventure? If you are, stick around to the end of this video. It's going to be good. So I have 4 rigs right now that are on Ultimate Adventure or going to be on Ultimate Adventure or have been on Ultimate Adventure, and I've yet to build the perfect rig. So I wanted to go over what I'd like and what I didn't like about each one of these and see if you guys have any ideas on what you would build. First up, we got Mas Grande. I took this in 2020. This is basically a low buck, 1-ton swapped Mazda pickup, and when I took it, it still had the stock transmission, so the stock transfer case. It had 717s in the axles, and all these things, like it had good points and bad points. It had a comfortable cab to sit in. It had the right size engine with enough power and decent fuel mileage. But the downsides on this truck were the stock transmission transfer case. I didn't have low enough gears in those, so I was like fighting it and smoking the clutch in the rocks. And when I got on the highway, the 717s in the axles were too low geared for like keeping up with the group. So like on the highway, I was revved out just trying to keep up with everybody. So the little compact pickup mini truck, really good platform, had bed space, it was comfortable in the cab, but the things that I didn't do at the time like really kept this thing from being very good. Nowadays it's on a little bigger tire, so the 717s make it cool to drive on the highway, and it has way lower gears in the transmission and transfer case, so it crawls a whole lot better. Let's go check out Mom's Spaghetti. Right here we've got Mom's Spaghetti. This is my 1990 Ford pickup. This was what I built and took in 2021, and this was a killer Ultimate Adventure rig. It was bigger in the cab, had a lot of space for like me and my co-dog and our gear. So we had plenty of room in the cab. We had plenty of space in the bed. We had the gears all dialed in. This was on 38-inch tires with 538s in the axles, and that was like dialed in to where I was able to go like 72 on the highway instead of like 64 in Mas Grande. This one's fuel injected, so it works really well at angles. And it also has like a granny low first gear and an overdrive in the transmission. So the transmission is like dialed in. The transfer cases, it's running a Magnum and a 205, so it has like 2-to-1, 2.7-to-1, and 5.4-to-1. So this thing has like all the low gearing you ever needed, plus that 5th gear and the good axle gears so that it went down the highway well. This was a really good rig. The only downsides to it really were the bed is a little small because I like made this step-side trail bed, and it has giant holes in it for the wheels and for shocks to poke through. So that was kind of the only downside. Everything that was in the bed had to be in milk crates or in compartments and all strapped down. Let's go check out my Jeep. That was the last one I took. Right here we got the Butter Jeep. This was sort of a last minute build, and I ended up taking it on Ultimate Adventure 2022. It was my first time ever taking a Jeep on that trip, and it was really pretty cool. This thing is super compact. It has big enough parts underneath that I could drive it hard, but it was lightweight enough that it didn't really feel like it was lumbering around on the highway and stuff. The gearing in this is 488s in the axles, and I stepped it down to a 37-inch tall tire. That was like dialed in perfect. It might not have looked the coolest out of all the rigs on the trip, but tire size and all the angles on this thing just work. It's kind of low to the ground. It's kind of short wheelbase, so the smaller tires didn't really hurt me on that. Engine is great, fuel injected straight 6, that ran good. It sounded terrible, but it ran good. 5-speed manual transmission, so I had overdrive for the highway days, and a single transfer case with 4-to-1 gears. So it had enough low gears in the rocks and high speed on the highways that this thing did really well. The only downside to this one is the fact that the inside of it is absolutely tiny. I had me and my co-dog and all our gear, and we were legit like floor to ceiling packed. I probably could have fixed that by like putting the spare tire outside on the back bumper or tailgate, but I wanted to keep it inside and down low and keep that center of gravity down. The other downside I had was the rear springs. Like I set the thing up really low and my shocks were too long for how low it sat, so I was bottoming out the shocks like all the time when I had all that gear in there. Nowadays this thing's on airbags and linked in the back, so it's like has more suspension travel, and I can like raise it up if I need to. So this was a really good rig, but it didn't really stand out in the crowd. Let's go see what I'm building now. This is Louis Vuitton. This is a 2008 Ford Super Duty F250 with a V10 gas engine in it. I'm building this for 2023 Ultimate Adventure. It is a big truck. It's got all kinds of space in the bed. It's got a V10 fuel injection, 538s in the axles, dual transfer cases, all kind of good stuff. You're going to be able to see like a full 3-build series on this rig that's like broke down. You'll see how all this is going together. But this is the coolest part. If you think that you are the ultimate adventure fan, go ahead and give me comments below what you think is the best rig to ever take on this trip. If you had the opportunity, what you would bring. I'm going to be giving away a gear bag from Ultimate Adventure 2022 with all the swag that was inside of it. There's t-shirts and hats and bags and stickers and a really cool 511 tactical bag to go along with it. Going to give that away to the grand prize winner, and then I'm going to give away 6 posters from Ultimate Adventures past. I have a pile of these things, and I can't use them all, so I'm going to give away 6 of them out of this video. We got different years, 2018, 19. Check this out. This was my rig in 2016, which I thought was the ultimate rig. It was super cool. It worked really well. Let me know what you would take on Ultimate Adventure. I'll go through and I'll pick, I'm just going to go through and pick winners and see who comes up with the coolest idea and puts the most effort into like letting me know what they think the ultimate rig is. Thanks for watching the Dirthead Shed. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and we will figure out who's going to win all this swag.